Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Deeply Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deeply Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 281. Today is Sunday, June 16th, 2019. I'm glad you could join me today. Hopefully you can hear the rain noises. It was a little disappointing this morning, so I got up, read the internet for a while, lollygagged for a bit, took a shower, and then as I was getting ready to make some coffee, I heard my phone buzz, and I went to go check my phone. I'm like, well, that's odd. I didn't get a message. So I ended up walking into the rest of the house, and I realized the power had gone off. So my phone was charging by the bed, and it lost power. And I didn't have any other lights or stuff on. So as soon as I realized that all of the fish tank accoutrements were not working, it was like, oh my gosh. So I ended up needing to get my first cup of coffee at Starbucks. Bizarrely, it seemed like only my neighborhood was without power, but it was like a good 2.5 hours off. So as you can hear the rain, what would it be? There's the same possibility the power could go off again, but this time I'm prepared and have coffee. Oh my gosh. So, it did delay the start of my morning a little bit, but not terribly. So, it hasn't been a very fiber-filled weekend, so not planning on putting the house on the market, this weekend, but actually next weekend. Well, not really next weekend, but whatever, the 20-somethings of June. So what this means is that I've been running around doing all of these last-minute projects and cleaning and all of that other fun stuff. Honestly, what really needs to happen is more cleaning. But I concluded that it was going to take up as much time as I was going to give it, and so I should take at least a little bit of time for myself. But I was on the ball for 14 hours yesterday. It was a little ridiculous. So this weekend hasn't been very restful, but oh well. I knit in the Starbucks while I was drinking my coffee, deciding what I wanted to eat for lunch because I didn't want to open the fridge because I wasn't sure how long the power was going to be off for. So last week there was a massive storm in Dallas. I was out driving in it. I went to have tacos, and at some point I look up and the lights are coming on in the parking lot at 1:30 in the afternoon. That's how dark and freaky it was. The sky was green. It was, ooh. So I ended up leaving the taco place, and as soon as I got on the highway, it was massive downpour. Going 25 on the freeway, because that's how fast my windshield wipers could work. Not that the Miata windshield wipers are really thunderstorm ready, but everyone else was going 25 too, so it wasn't just me. Managed to get home, everything's safe, everything's fine. I go to work the next day, and every single tree has missing limbs. It looked like a giant hand had come and just squished things. So there was quite a lot of damage, quite a lot of destruction. So there are still hundreds, if not way more than that, thousands, tens of thousands of people in Dallas without power. So I didn't have high hopes that they were going to fix my power problem. Luckily, everyone I know got their power restored reasonably quickly, so that's good. And it's been unseasonably cool, so whatever. It's not hundreds right now. It's mid 80s to 70s or something like that. Super weird. But there was quite a lot of destruction. And apparently it was all due to just straight line winds or something like that. So in a place that isn't accustomed to getting 70-mile-per-hour winds, it took out a lot of stuff. So that's the story there. So I'm glad that I have power, but I also understand that the likelihood of maintaining power is low. And it's sort of hard to do some things when it's so dim. But, oh well, such is life. Keeping my lawn watered. So, knitting-wise, I have a couple of things. They're the same things. Well, it's not a complete repeat from last week's episode. Let's give me some credit. So, I now need to figure out how to detangle my mess. This shouldn't be terrible. Seeing as I'm like sitting here with my bag in my lap. Maybe not necessary. So, I am still working on the 7th section of my Inara wrap. Inara wrap is a Amba O'Brien pattern that I am knitting out of Canon hand dyes in 7 different colors. So I have reddish purple, bluish purple, blue, sorry, I'm like so broken today. Then, I'm like so broken today, it isn't even funny. Then I have light teal, dark teal, and forest green. So, that was harder, but whatever. And so I'm now on my 7th section, so this is natural with a little bit of light teal, and it's bordering the other light teal section. So, I'm close to being done with it, but not quite. So, not terrible. Not terrible. So, the natural color is Naked Bruce, which is a merino yak nylon blend. And then all of my brightly colored ones are merino cashmere silk, which is lovely. Treated myself on that one. It would have been nice had I had 2 gradients, but whatever. Such is life. So, this rides along with me most places. I definitely do have, or what would it be? I have a yarn explosion going on here, see? So I'm going to be running out of this skein pretty soon, but luckily I have a backup, and this is how much I have of the light teal. I have one more pair of rows I'm going to do with it, but it's a decent amount of leftovers, despite whatever else is going on. And that will be the first color that I finish up using, which is nice. So, yay. Coming along nicely. And maybe I should disentangle this from my bag. Oh, it's dangerous to disentangle it from my bag, though. Whatever. So, maybe this merits a little bit of rewinding. We'll see. It definitely wants to explode on me. So, now I'm knitting this in my happy, brightly colored bag that my mother-in-law gave me. So I did finish weaving in the ends of my breathing space Friday, but I didn't get an opportunity to get FO pictures. I was too busy yesterday, and it was too dark today, and maybe too busy today too. But that is what's floating at the top of my bag right now. This is like a hot mess. Okay. Alright, so this is my Claudia Hand Dyes linen in the Lone Star colorway, which reminds me of blue bonnets. So this is probably going to be my blue bonnet vitamin D. Have I started a project page for it? Maybe. Maybe not. Hard to tell. And so right now I'm keeping this in this bag, but obviously the containment properties of this bag are poor. And I am alternating skeins. I don't even remember where I left off on this. So I started alternating skeins, and I ended up trying to pick places in the color progression where they wouldn't lay on top of each other. I'm not entirely sure how effective that has been, but I'm definitely, whatever, sort of in, you know, that slog portion of the sweater where you're just like, oh my gosh, is it even growing? But it shouldn't be too crazy. So it's coming along. It appears that I have recently done another set of circular increases, so I get to knit on this for a while longer before anything exciting happens. And I guess I'll be keeping an eye out for when the count gets sort of close to where my arm measurement would be. And then I decided that the craftiest place to put the alternating would be actually not on the edge of the sweater, but and the back of the sleeve on one side. So it's not like the smoothest join in the world, but hopefully it's not too crazy. That's sort of the problem with having it be in the middle of the row, but hopefully it turns out decently. So you can see the radial pattern of increases in here with the contrast of my hair. And right now it seems to, like, when I started alternating, I was getting to it seems to be the case where I'm getting like 2 row stripes of the color, so I guess I picked the right time. And it seems like one of the skeins has like a richer purple in it, so it seems like I made a good choice. The pattern actually calls you to knit the sleeves flat, and to knit the sleeves before proceeding with the body, so I will need to think about what I want to do there. The pooling will be different if I knit it flat versus the round, and so I'll have to figure out what I want to do with that. I suppose it's not the end of the world if it's knit flat. So there is actually a reason, so it'd be the case where since you're knitting the cardigan back and forth, you will have no gauge change if you knit the sleeves flat as well. So I'll have to decide what way I want to go. I don't have size 2 double points, so I would have to magic loop, and I might rather knit flat than magic loop, so that's sort of how I'm leaning right now. Because I don't enjoy magic looping. Doesn't seem like I meant that's a trait. So I've been really busy at home and I haven't been carrying this project around, so I don't think I worked on it Friday night. It feels like Saturday didn't even exist because I was working. Oh well. So, Vitamin D, Heidi Kermeyer, linen yarn. So, contemplation lace. So, I did manage to get some spinning done though. So, I broke out my spindle project on Friday and managed to finish the roll log I was working on and start another one. So I now have slightly more of these singles. So this is spinning up pretty fine. It is a mixture of camel silk, camel, and kiviot that I carded together and made roll logs out of. The roll logs are no longer as fluffy and delightful as the moment I made them, but do seem to work just fine for spinning. So, and this is my Turkish finch. So this is one of the latest spindles I own. So I'm trying to make this as fine as possible so I can actually make a reasonably large size thing. And I am keeping my spindle safe by keeping it in this Talenti jar. So when I finish this roll log, then I will be at the halfway point. So that'll be cool. And then I have some silk to apply this with, though I might need to buy more silk. I'm not sure what yardage I'm gonna get with it. Hopefully I get that much, but I don't know. Hard to tell. So that's like the only trick that I have, or what would it be? The only thing that I've sort of left out at this point. I don't really have a lot of stuff out right now. What was it? Or I've been trying to be good and putting away as much stuff as humanly possible, but some things are a little bit more challenging. So it's possible that after I record last week, then I'll be putting away all of my recording accoutrements and that sort of thing, and then taking them out and putting them back and forth. But we shall see. I don't know if that's the case where it justifies recording on a different day of the week. I don't know yet. It's a mystery. I'm not sure what's going to happen. So I was just going to pop this off the bobbin, but I definitely had some issues getting this latest ball started. Let's see. Alright, here we go. So this is, okay, so this is my seconds, or these are my combing seconds that I am spinning as a, what would it be, a small 2-ish ounce skein to go with the other ones that I was making for my Corriedale cross Shetland cross BFL sheep, Ginny. Maybe it's just easier to call this one Ginny. So this is the lightest portion of the fleece, which I then proceeded to dye the darkest color. What is it? This is probably a little bit more green than what the finished, or whatever, what my singles are going to be, because I ended up taking the green stuff and over dyeing it blue again in order to make this really great navy. So I am really loving this color, but it isn't the color that my fleece turned out. Yeah, because that is it over there, and it has more of a, I don't know, it's different a little bit. So I have quite a few balls of this, and I've been sitting down and like spinning one ball at a time as like occasional breaks from working on stuff. And so I'm ready to start another ball fairly soon, or I'm ready to start another ball because I spun that one till it was done. But this is what I have remaining, so I still have quite a lot to go on this. There's like a decent amount of my hair in here. So, like this one, for example, is slightly more purple than other ones. So I just have a bunch of these little nests, and I'm spinning them, randomly grabbing them out of the bag and spinning them. They're all fairly similar to each other in the grand scheme of things. And it's going to make a fairly subtly colored yarn in the end. And then I'm trying to be more long draw while spinning it, but sometimes it's just been easier to be a little bit more worsted. So I have quite a lot of these to go. I'm not sure, or it's possible that I will end up moving So it's possible that I might end up keeping my spinning wheel upstairs when I have the house on the market, so we'll see how that ends up working out, like containing the weird into whatever, a few isolated places instead of just all over the place. Whatever. So that is my primary spinning project right now. What's going to end up happening next is, what would it be? Actually, I'm not sure what's going to happen next. I think it depends on how long this takes. Hopefully this doesn't take long. I'm just, whatever, slowly moving forward. What would it be? We can revisit that. So, okay, not so weird. So I ended up making several stitch markers this week. So I now have 54, which may not be as much as I was hoping for, but did seem to make sense in the context of how many little crimp covers I had. So I need to buy more crimp covers in order to make more, and I wasn't really sure the next time I would have a chance to get up to my favorite bead store, because the crimp covers are way too expensive at Michael's. The bead store is a much, much better place to buy crimp covers. So I have my leftovers from DFW Fiberfest, and these are all lobster claws. And then I ended up making whatever, and then all the ones with the pink beads are also leftovers from DFW. But I ended up making all of these for trading at SSK. So I had a couple of these which are with these like light blue beads, and then for some reason a bunch of beads mysteriously ended up in my desk. So I made a bunch of like Slytherin-y ones. What would it be? I just have to accept the fact that I'm Slytherin. Like, I'm smart and I know it. It's just like, that's just the way it's gotta be. So, what would it be? So I ended up having these sort of lighter glass beads, and then I ended up larger glass beads, and then I ended up putting the tealish ones with it, with a little silver ball. So I ended up packing up the rest of my beading stitch marker supplies, because I wasn't really sure where to appropriately hide it. I do have like one random stray lobster claw where I don't know what happened to its whatever associated stitch marker, but whatever, such is life. So so this is what I'll have for SSK for trading. So my DFW extras and then other stuff too. And I was hoping to be able to use up the rest of one of my supplies of beading wire, because I was looking for beading wire that would be compatible with my turquoise beads, but I didn't end up making any turquoise ones this year. So whatever, some other time, it'll be fine. So I need to put these probably with my other stuff that I'm bringing with me to SSK. What would it be? I did manage to, or what is it? So I did find out what classes I'm taking at SSK, so I'm going to be taking Design Your Own Farrell Cowl class with Hannes Gray, which should be fun. I am also taking a class on twist with Maggie Casey, and so I am going to be, right now I am signed up to be borrowing a Lundrum. I don't know whether or not I want to bring my Lundrum or not, but as a potential solution, I can bring all my bobbins. So I could borrow the Lundrum and be able to still spin. I wasn't able to borrow the Lundrum last SSK because that was being used by Jillian Moreno, or whatever, the last SSK I went to, 2017. So, because it is the perfect wheel for like a spinning class, because it's super duper easy to change your bobbins out. So if you're spinning small amounts, it's really nice to have that be easy. You need tools, well, maybe not, but it's much more of a pain to take apart a shocked wheel to change out the bobbins. So, like, that's why many podcasters don't, like, pop over and show the bobbin, because it's non-trivial to get that swapped out. So, as you do. So in terms of, that was a good one. So in terms of future projects, I have two that I know are going to be happening in the near term. And maybe they're both within arm's reach. Yes, they are. Oops, things are falling. So, what I have going on here are, is all of my combing waste. So I have all of these different woolly pelts from, what would it be, from making my comb top. So I ended up combining the colors that I dyed together, and this was the result. So I have this bluey purple one from the lightest shade of fleece, and then I have this purpley one from the medium shade of fleece, and then I have these tealy grainy ones from the darkest part of the fleece of Ginny. And I think I'm going to sample what the yarn's going to look like. So I'm going to spin these as separate singles and figure out if I want to make yarns that figure out how I want to apply things together. Because I think what I want to do is to do a marl. So I would spin one single of the teal, one single of the purple, and one single of the blue. You can't even see my hands. And then apply them all together to make something that is a combination of all of those things. So it would be super duper jewel tone fantastic, but this is a chance to try it out. So the staple length on this is way shorter than what my other thing is, but the colors are all right. So that's what I'm banking on. And then that would be another bit of waste that has been taken care of in my endeavor of spinning this. So it'll probably be a fourth skein of the waste as you do. And it'll actually, I think, be a pretty decent sized one. So it's possible that that might actually be useful as like extra yarn if I need it or something like that. I'm not sure. So, or maybe it's the case where I only end up applying like a little bit of it. I don't know. I'm not sure what I want to do. But then sort of after that's done, then I can get spinning the main part of the fleece, which is something that I've wanted to do for quite some time. I think in terms of bobbin management, I would need more bobbins in order to hold that stuff in reserve, so perhaps not. And I decided to participate in Tour de Fleece with the Fun Onions. So, Susan, who is the head onion, what was it? The original plan for Tour de Fleece this year, apparently in the group, was to do a fiber swap, but I couldn't participate in a fiber swap because I packed most of my fiber. And I wasn't going to send what I have out to that. And so it turned out the group sentiment was to do like special bats. So Susan had some time in order to card up a variety of bats, and she had one that was reds, one that was purples, and then one that was jewel tones. And then this one was blues and browns. So all of the themes for her Tour de Fleece challenge are French, and I realize, what would it be, that I feel like such an uncultured Midwesterner because I am so uncomfortable with pronouncing French. It's like it just falls out of my brain. But I can pronounce this one. This one is La Mer, because it is like the sea. So this is, what would it be? A part of the challenge where we're spinning the bats that we got for the special Tour de Fleece challenge. So Tour de Fleece runs with Tour de France. Generally, spinning is a great activity to do while watching men in spandex hoof it up hills. What would it be? The Dear Sweet Lovable one also dons the spandex and hoofs it up hills, so I'm sure it'll be fine. He was actually sad because he didn't bring his spandex out with him. Poor boy. He's planning on bringing some back with him this time, so it'll be okay. There are a variety of different challenges, and I think that I count for 3 of the 4 that she's putting together. Well, I guess there's technically 5, so 3 of the 5. One of them is to pick a phrase in French and figure out a project that matches the theme. And there were that was a funny discussion. You guys should just go read that discussion because it's amusing. Another one is Why Not, but in French. Another one is Let's Get Back to the Sheep, which is apparently a colloquialism for let's get back to the point, guys. So that's to spin something that makes you inspired. And then there is another one I don't remember the name of at all, which is to do like a sweater spin. So my fiber up there is a sweater spin and totally primed for that challenge, and sort of matches what I was planning on doing anyways, which is positive, as usual. And at some point I'm going to have to take my pictures for the Stockinette Zombies challenge, but whatever. And another one is art yarn, but like, could I make something art yarny with this? Absolutely. Do I even know what's in here? There is some sparkle for sure, and definitely some things that are pretty silky, but it's mysterious. It's pretty though. I'm just enjoying looking at it. So I foresee some woolen spinning in my future. So I ended up getting 2 bats, which probably decreases whatever my accountability of not, or whatever, trying to use twice what I buy as like a intention. I'm not sure how that's going to work out, but I haven't had a stash position in a while, so it's not terrible, but when I have them, it tends to put me back. Man, that coffee's so good. So I decided to bring a picture for you guys. So I don't even know if you guys can get this coffee, but oh I'm drinking their Ethiopian Sidamo right now, and Island. It tastes like strawberries. I don't know if they're vaping strawberries while they're roasting it or what, but it's just really super duper delicious. So I can't always get it because I think I would get sick of it if I had it all the time, but this was my first cup since I had a chance to get some more on Saturday, so it just makes me super happy. And it's like way too late probably to be drinking coffee, but I'll accept the consequences of my decisions. I suppose if I'm going to be spending the rest of the night cleaning house, that whatever, it won't be the end of the world. Excuse me. So that's sort of where I am right now. It feels like I'm a long way away from being done with any of my projects right now. I bet next week's not going to be that much different, but what would it be? I'll figure out how insane it is to record next week. It is the last weekend before I put the house on the market, so I might just be swamped. I don't know. Or because the Dearly Lovable one will be here, maybe it'll be easier and more stuff will get done. Who knows? But I'm probably going to have a lame night tonight. Oh well. A lame night of vacuuming. Well, I did a lot of vacuuming last week. It's probably going to be a lame night of bathroom cleaning. Scrub. So I'm gonna go mix up a paste of baking soda and bleach and go to town with my the shirt I don't care if I destroy, and pants that are already destroyed, and call it good. Should be fine. So we shall see if I'm able to record next week. If I'm not, so be it. Such is life. I'll probably have plenty to talk about the next week. I'm surprised I managed to talk for this long today, so whatever. So with that, I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. So take care, guys. Bye-bye.